there we go, nicely sanded down. Now it is quite rough because we did use a coarse skinny stick, but we're going to be putting photo etch on top of this, and actually having a slight rough surface helps it adhere better to the plastic anyway. You don't need to go off and go through your different grades of sanding sticks to get it all nice and smooth. You just want to have it flat basically. We also have some more detail that needs to be removed here just on our few buttons here and everything in the cockpit. Again, we can just come along with a nice coarse skinny stick, wherever they've gone, there we go, and we can just give this a nice bit of a sand as well, right? And basically you want to keep sanding at this, right, until it looks like this on the other side. Now on this side, as you can see, we've still got some sort of raised little panels going on just in there. Now that's okay, let's save a little bit of time. No need to completely sand that down so it's completely and utterly flat. The photo etch will just go on top of there rather nicely, right? So we just want the same done this side, right, which I think I'll do off camera just to speed things up. We've also got our little pedals just here. I've already done one. Getting this off maybe a little bit tricky. Get a couple of tools. We have our cutters here, which we can just cut down one side and then just try and squeeze in there. A little bit tricky maybe, but we try and squeeze in there. And then what we want to do now is actually start to sort of chop it down. Now when using the blade, you kind of don't want to sort of go straight into where you want it cut and sort of do it all in one cut. It is quite good just to kind of slice it in layers until you get to, sort of basically where we get it all nice and flush and flat with the rest of the plastic is basically what you want to do. So just keep doing nice little shavings rather than, because I mean if we try and do it all in one cut, basically you're gonna have to put more pressure down, and it just puts the risk of, well, cutting yourself and doing other damage. So yeah, just keep cutting those little layers off. Right, now with this we do end up cutting a little hole, and looking at what photo etch has got to go in here, I'm not sure if this actual hole is going to be, well, end up being a little bit visible. So I'm just going to kind of play it safe and do a little bit of quick filling here. Right, now I've got that pretty kind of good now, so coming in with a fine sanding stick just to sort of finish things off, we can just get in there with our skinny stick and just nicely finish this up, both sides and bottom. As I say, we've ended up with these holes which isn't really supposed to be there. So some nice plastic putty by Vallejo, really nice bit of filler, because we've got this nice applicator to just squeeze and inject exactly where we want. Right, inject and squeeze it exactly where we want, and as you can see it comes out the bottom there. So let's just kind of wipe that up with something. My blade will do it, just so it doesn't get in the way. It shouldn't do really, because this is going to be not on show at all. But yeah, you kind of leave a nice little blob coming out where the hole is, so when it fully dries, if it doesn't do any shrinking, you've got that blob on top of there. So when we either sand this or cut that out, we'll have a nice flat surface and it should be all good there. Right, so what I need to do now is we need to sort of start adding bits of photo etch. Now when we do the photo etch, we have two things to consider here, and that is we've got two types of photo etch. We have, you know, the unpainted, and then we have the painted or printed version. What we want to do, we want to put all the photo etch that's on this photo etch, which isn't painted, on our cockpit first, then spray. Then after it's all been sprayed, then we put on our nice printed photo etch, then weather. Right, so kind of forget about this photo etch, and we want to start thinking about putting this photo etch on. So what we're going to do, we're going to now focus on some photo etch. Now, getting the photo etch off of the sprue is very important, because you know, we don't want it bent or anything like that. So I like to use a number 9 blade, just like so. And then what we're going to do is we need to cut off P75. So let's bring you in, and what we're going to do is we're just going to try and get you on camera first. We're going to get our nice tool here from RB Productions, which is just a nice kind of sort of plastic, very flat, very hard surface, with this nice little tool which also provides a hard, flat, smooth surface to sandwich our photo etch in, so that we can butt up our blade and nicely cut without any bending. Yes, just like so. And you want to rock it, not saw it. So we're butting up to the tab, butting up our top flat piece, and we're just rocking, butting up, rock, and it should hopefully come free, apart from just got one last one there. And all this does is kind of butts it all up so that nothing is going to bend, because it's nice and firmly butted and sandwiched in. Then, you know, the next thing we want to do, we want to take our piece of photo etch, remove this and that, and a nice set of good quality tweezers. And what you want to do is you just want to nicely, I mean, this has actually been cut off rather good actually on it. We don't really need to do anything, but I'll just show you what I mean. Right, so basically, if you cut off the fret nice enough, you don't really have to sand it sometimes, but basically we want to pinch it like so, bring you in, then get a nice metal file, and all you simply do is nice and lightly run this across, and basically you keep your photo etch sandwiched in and flat, and keeps it all nice and neat, and you just sand off any bits of the fret that are still on our little piece. Right, now for this particular piece, it wants to go just where our pedals are. So what I'm going to be using for this is, if I just get a cocktail stick, one way of gluing on photo etch, there's lots of different ways, and for different situations call for different sort of glue. So I'm going to be using good old prick stick, very nice product really, and what we're going to do is just going to get a bit of it on the end of our cocktail stick, and we could probably just well, actually we need to make sure, yes, 75 goes on the right side of the cockpit, and we can just spread some of this on to where we're going to put it. Maybe use the other side to do any cleaning up you might want to do. Right, and then we can hopefully, let's maybe just put a little bit of the prick stick on the end of our cocktail stick, so we can sort of lift it up in a hands-free sort of way, and then we can just nicely place this on, and then we just nicely maneuver it until it's in the perfect place that we want. Right, and then if you've got any of the prick stick say somewhere you don't want it, we get a cotton wool bud and we just moisten it, and we can just wipe up any areas that we didn't want in any of the prick stick, and just make sure it's in exactly the right position. And that's looking good now, hopefully, as you can see there. You know, because it's prick stick, it doesn't dry instantly like super glue. We need to leave that to dry for a bit. Do the same the other side, and basically the rest of the photo etch for this cockpit area is the printed stuff, so we need to spray this next. Now we want to start spraying, and just to get ready for spraying, we want to do a bit of prep work. So we have our ejector seat just here. Getting a 1mm drill bit, we just want to nicely drill a little hole on the underside. Right, so it's out the way, we're not going to see it. And then what we can do with this hole, you might have already guessed, we're going to get a cocktail stick and we're just going to put that in there, and that then gives us hands-free. When it comes to any kind of spraying, hands-free is always a good one. And then you want to get yourself a, you know, polystyrene's always a good one, and we can just stick it on here. And I don't think our Sherman step-by-step video build will mind sharing. What else? We also need another cocktail stick here. Bit of blue tack, nice and easy, wrap it around our cocktail stick, and we can then just press that down on our instrument display panel. Again, nicely hands-free. We've even got locking tweezers here. We have this little tab just there. Let's bring you in a little bit closer. We've got this tab just here, which, you know, we're not going to see, so we can, you know, get our locking tweezers and we can hold that rather nicely, just like that. And then we can just locking tweezers these over to it as well. So then we're all nice and ready to get spraying now. So got my compressor on about 20 psi, and I'm going to be using personally for this, I'm going to be using Vallejo's Vallejo's 71120 US Air Force medium grey. Nice little colour here, and I'm just gonna get our Evolution 2-in-1 by Harder and Sternbeck. Right, now with Vallejo paints, right, you can pour them in neat, which I'm going to do right now, but I only really pour them in neat when you know, I'm only spraying bits, right? If you was to spray a whole model, it does tend to dry up your needle a bit quicker, you know, so you probably want to thin it down a bit then. Also, let's just get a bit of kitchen paper towel out just to protect our work surface a bit. And then what you want to do, check how you're flowing, right, nicely, and then we just want to start off with that nice light misty coat, right, just to get us started, just like so, using our nice hands-free there. And we want to spray all of the cockpit here inside, trying to get round all the angles. Yes, nice light misty coat. Right, and because it's a nice light misty coat, we can come back to this piece, cut to air, blow dry it, and it should just dry, you know, really nice and quickly. And then we can come in with sort of like a nice normal light coat. Right, remember, you need to come in from all angles, because this you know, we've got quite a bit of raised bits here and there, and we want to get in at the sides. Ooh, careful, don't worry, just pick it up carefully, place these back on. Ooh. Hold on, butterfingers, there we go. Now that's not quite wanting to hold. There we go. I think I need to clean my my locking tweezers again, you know, coming from all the angles so we get all the raised bits, you know, and that's actually, you know, looking quite nice. It's given us some nice good coverage there, and we want to do that to all our pieces here on that we've got in front of us. We even want to get out you know, our front nose section, because we are going to see this top bit a bit here. All this inside is going to get covered, but just at the top here, you know, a nice little bit of spray. Only at the top, we don't have to go all the way down. And we've also got our sides here as well, which we can give them a nice little spray as well. And I'm then going to work my way through all these just to speed things up. I'll let ejector seat here, just spray that black. Next thing we want to do is do this nice sort of area in the back that has this sort of metallic greeny blue sort of colour to it. So what we want to do, we just want to mask things off a bit. So let's get a bit of Tamiya masking tape on the back of the palm of our hand, just to, you know, make it a little bit less tacky. Alright, and what we want to do is just nicely on the top here, just sort of mask that nicely, just there. Maybe just get a quick cocktail stick just to sort of push it down to get it to stick a bit better, more securely. There we go. Maybe just fold that over a bit just to keep it out of the way, but not too much because it's got a bit of a sort of like a kink just there. Then what we want to do as well is just sort of, you know, it doesn't have to be exact, you know, just kind of get a nice piece across there, nice, quick and easy, and a nice piece across this side as well, just to stop any overspray that we might get coming over to the other side, so that we can just spray basically now everything that's going on this side. So the first colour we want to bring in, let's get this down a bit better, there we go. First colour we want to bring in is Vallejo's 71062 aluminium. Give it a good shake. PSI, get about maybe just under 20. Right, and we're going to pour this straight in, neat, no need for any thinning. Bring in our kitchen paper towel, put the lid back on. Right, and what we want to do is just checking our flow and just to nicely start spraying this with a light misty coat of silver. Right, cut to wear to let it dry off, and then come in with another light coat. Don't forget to come in from all different angles, right, to get it, you know, everywhere. Now I'll finish this off camera, let it dry, and then I'll show you the kind of the cool part of this.